Design Biology as a Forensic Evaluation Framework for Biological Claims, Part 1. Author, Dr. Charles Mason, Ph.D. Abstract. In this paper, I present design biology as the central framework I use to evaluate biological claims, particularly those concerning origins, major transitions, and the emergence of integrated forms of life. I define design biology as a forensic evaluation method rather than a slogan or a mere philosophical preference. My focus is not simply on whether a biological story sounds plausible, but on whether the proposed cause has demonstrated causal adequacy for the result being claimed. I explain how I separate observation from inference, inference from narrative, and mechanism from agency. I also explain how I use DBFEP, DQA, ELIS, and CTG, critical thinking guardrails, to discipline reasoning, score evidence quality, and prevent claims from outrunning the evidence. I conclude by stating my position clearly. I reject Darwinism and neo-Darwinism as fully demonstrated causal accounts for the origin of mankind and major forms of life, and I regard design biology as a more viable, evidence-first framework for evaluating whether biological complexity is better explained by intelligent cause than by unguided processes. Keywords: design biology, DBFEP, DQA, ELIS, CTG, critical thinking guardrails, causal adequacy, biological complexity, origins, forensic evaluation, intelligent cause. Introduction. When I discuss origins, biological complexity, and the appearance of major forms of life, I do not begin with the question of which side wins a debate. I begin with a forensic question. What does the evidence directly show, what is inferred from that evidence, and what level of causal claim is justified? That question is the starting point of what I call design biology. I use the term design biology to describe an evidence-first framework for evaluating biological claims. I do not use it as a shortcut for declaring design every time I encounter complexity. I use it as a disciplined method for testing causal claims and for exposing the difference between direct observation, layered inference, and broad historical reconstruction. Design biology is not only a topic I discuss, it is the framework I use. It is the method I use when evaluating origin claims, macro-level biological narratives, biosignature claims, and other cases where scientific language can drift beyond what the evidence directly supports. What I mean by design biology. By design biology, I mean a forensic evaluation framework for biology. I treat biological claims the way a forensic analyst treats a case file. I separate the raw evidence from the interpretation. I identify the assumptions that connect one step to another. I test whether the proposed cause is strong enough to produce the result. I then assign a confidence judgment based on the quality of the evidence and the integrity of the inferential chain. This is the key distinction. In my framework, the central issue is not whether a proposed pathway is imaginable. The issue is whether it has been demonstrated with enough causal power and evidential support to justify the strength of the claim being made. For that reason, I focus heavily on causal adequacy, inferential discipline, and claim control. I do not treat possibility as proof. I do not treat a model as a completed historical demonstration. I do not treat a coherent narrative as a substitute for a validated mechanism.